A blown stop sign and a crash in Lebanon County sent a tractor trailer into a garage.
He could have been in there, and he probably would have been dead.
We're learning about the crash.
Police are looking into a video posted on social media in connection to a deadly crash in Manor Township. What was said that's raising concerns.
Shower and thunderstorm chances remain high along with the humidity. Find out when's the best day to see the rain and when we finally start to dry back out.
Charged me and threw me to the ground, and we just started tussling right here.
A video of a man getting arrested in New York City is making the rounds on social media. We'll hear from the man who got arrested as well as the police about their response.
A SWAT team incident sending a shock through a Lebanon neighborhood. What people woke up to this morning.
WGAL News 8 at 5 starts now.
A new twist in a deadly crash in Lancaster County, as police are still looking for those connected to the incident that sent 2 vehicles into the Susquehanna River and killed 20-year-old Sage Zink. This all having to do with the suspect Manor Township police say was driving the car the victim was in, Mikhail Cotton. Welcome to News 8 at 5, everyone. I'm Brian Roach.
And I'm Lori Burkholder. Charges against Cotton were filed Monday for leaving the scene of an accident involving death or personal injury, driving with a suspended license, and also failing to give information or render aid.
News 8 on your side, Sarah Metz is here with a new piece of information that investigators are looking into.
This is definitely an interesting development tonight. You might have seen it on social media, a video of a man rapping inside of a parked car. Now, I sent the video to Manor Township Police Department, and they tell me that they're aware of it and they're looking into it as part of this deadly crash investigation. The rap video posted about 24 hours ago uses lyrics like, "I might have left, but that don't mean I left you there to die. Sage knows I tried to save her life. I'm sorry I couldn't get her out of that ride. Moving too fast, I didn't think I'd lose it. I tried to reach. It was dark, so I couldn't see. I felt hopeless. That's why I fled the scene." Now, police say they cannot comment on the authenticity of the video or its origin, just that they're looking into it. However, we took a closer look at the details police included about Cotton. The affidavit shows Cotton has a neck tattoo of a money sign. When I combed through the social media account that posted the rap video and other accounts connected to it, I compared tattoos. Multiple videos on the account show a man with 2 neck tattoos. One appears consistent with the description of Cotton's money sign tattoo that police mention in their report. Now, Cotton is still not in custody. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward for information that leads to his arrest and or conviction. Crime Stoppers says tipsters can remain anonymous. Police are also looking to speak with the other 2 people in this video who they say left the area after the crash. Police say their names are Helmer Soto Colon and Savannah McFerrin. Brian?
So, Sarah, this may be a bizarre thing for some people to see, but can we call this unprecedented?
Not really. There is a case out of Las Vegas, Nevada that points back to a similar social media post where a man is believed to rap about a crime. Our NBC affiliate in Nevada says in 2023, detectives found a music video of a man named Kenjuan McDaniel appearing to reference and confess to a deadly shooting from 2 years prior. Police then charged McDaniel with homicide. It's not uncommon for prosecutors to use lyrics as evidence in trials, according to NBC News. In 2019, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court upheld a rapper's conviction after saying the lyrics of his song, are not protected under the First Amendment.
Get on the ground. What did I do? Next thing I know, cop rolled up and said I had a warrant and grabbed a hold of me.
A video of a man being arrested in New York City making the rounds on social media. And tonight we're hearing from the man who was arrested, as well as the police department. News 8's Marcy Walsh is live in downtown New York with those perspectives tonight.
Brian, Donovan Eaton was taken into custody on Saturday night, police saying they had a warrant for his arrest. Now, the Ring doorbell footage has made the rounds on social media, sparking a community debate about the use of physical force. And I was able to talk to the York City Police Department, who said they did a review and nothing violated any of their policies.
I can tell you that after reviewing not only the initial officer's camera, but all the other body cameras over there, that the officers acted within our department's policy.
Police say they were serving a warrant for Eaton's arrest at his sister's home on North Belvedere Avenue for driving with a suspended license. From there, the video shows Eaton and the officer in a struggle that moves to the breezeway. Eaton says he initially wasn't told why he was being arrested.
When I asked what the warrant was for, they wasn't telling me until after they got me in cuffs and placed in the back of the cop car.
Captain Lentz says body camera footage shows Eaton was told in the breezeway, out of range from the doorbell camera.
So you can't see any of that interaction on the Ring doorbell, but it's in that moment then is when, because I know everybody's like, Donnie wanted to know why he was, what the warrant was for. Well, that he tells him in the breezeway there, and it's all on the body camera, so he was informed.
The struggle continues onto the porch, and Eaton is taken into custody, charged with aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer and resisting arrest. He says he hopes this incident will spark change.
That there's some change along with the police force and the way that they go about apprehending people.
Captain Lentz says the body camera footage is not being released at this time as it's being used for evidence. Live in New York, I'm Marcy Walsh, WGAL News 8.
All right, Marcy, thank you. Well, new tonight, Chambersburg police just charged a man from Texas after he was allegedly found hiding in a woman's closet. This happened last night around 7:30. Officers say 20-year-old Jorge Ramirez Andrade allegedly flew from Houston after a woman he met online ended contact with him and blocked his accounts. Police say he had previously threatened to kill her if they could not date. Investigators say that he bought a ladder, gloves, and a hammer and safety vest to pose as a maintenance worker, entered the woman's apartment, searched her electronic devices, and hid in a closet until she returned. He's charged with burglary, stalking, and terroristic threats.